Let's get a word from former cop of over 30 years, Norman Brennan, who always tells it like it is. Good afternoon to you, Norman. Nice to have you with us as ever. Now, of course, there is such a thing as evolution. You know, crime techniques and crime-solving techniques change all the time. Once upon a time, they didn't have fingerprints. Once upon a time, they didn't have CCTV cameras. And once upon a time, they didn't have facial recognition. Is this just the next evolution of crime fighting?
Well, it is. I mean, let's be honest about it, Ian. We rarely see a police officer on the streets anymore. And the public used to be our eyes and our ears. Well, the public don't see the police. They don't feel reassured. Victims rarely get police attendance and their crimes investigated. So the police must use anything and everything they have in the toolbox. And this is a very good tool in the toolbox, in so much as it does facial recognition of those who have committed very serious offences, are wanted on warrant, have escaped from prison, and even children that have committed some of the most heinous crimes on our statute books. So it's only right that the police can use anything and everything to arrest those people, because whilst they're on the streets, they're a threat to society, both from the crimes that they commit, or certainly when it comes to murder and stabbings and carrying knives. These are the types of people we want arrested and put before the courts and sent to prison. And within a minute or two, although a camera can take hundreds, if not thousands of impressions, if they're not wanted, they're deleted. So there should be no real concern from the big brother mob saying this is affecting our privileges and our right to walk the streets.
It's a good point, and you're absolutely right. I didn't quite, when I first read this story, Norman, I wasn't quite sure. I thought, have I read this wrongly? Are they saying that, you know, this is people who've done nothing wrong that have been picked up? But of course, that isn't the suggestion here. The suggestion by some who don't like this is that it shouldn't involve kids. Well, I'm sorry, that's like saying, you know, we're not going to, you know, when we're out on the beat, on the occasions you do see a bobby on the beat, we're not going to look for kids doing things wrongly. I mean, that would be ridiculous. If we have facial recognition out there and that capability, people might not like it, but as long as it's there, it's going to look for a wrong 'un, whether they're 10 or 110.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we live in an era of society and in history now where we are going through one of the worst times this country has seen in several hundred years, where we used to have wars. We used to have governments run out of town, put in the tower, executed at dawn if they failed the British people. Well, we've moved on a bit there. We're a little bit more humane. And yes, I saw your earlier comments about the Reeves, the shadow,
the Chancellor.
Sorry, the Chancellor, just getting back. Everyone's going for her at the moment. Well, the thing is that we have become a very distracted country. We seem to be distracted from all the serious issues that we're concerned about. What we really should be concerned about is protecting our borders, protecting our streets, and ensuring that the law-abiding public can go about their business in some sort of safety. And what I will say, Ian, as well, I was out only recently with a senior Met homicide detective who was telling me about brand new AI system that they've got in place. I can't say too much about it at the moment because the Met will do it sometime in the future. But what they've done is they've looked at previous homicides, for example, looked at all the evidence, all the CCTV, all of the witness statements and everything they could, and they put it into a system. And the system came back like with a suspect or the types of person, where they live, where they sort of associate. And he said that the results are absolutely almost 100%. So the police are doing as much as they can. Sure. And things like the facial recognition that we were talking about, why should it concern anybody? If it's going to make you, your family, your work colleagues, your children safer on the streets, travelling on public transport or going down to seaside resorts, why shouldn't the police do everything in their power to ensure that those that are likely to blight you are taken off the streets and out of circulation?
And on that point, I don't think anybody could agree with it when you put it like that, Norman. Thank you for your time as ever. Always great to hear your tones on these issues. Norman Brennan, former cop.